Okay, hi guys. Right, so we're on to, this is a theory question. This probably won't take as long, but it's really important to kind of make sure you read up on this chapter on budgeting. I might, hopefully, well, make a video on the chapter because it was very much a self-read, but you would have come across these elements of incremental budgeting and zero-based budgeting. Zero-based budgeting fundamentally asking us to prove why we want a cost in a budget, as opposed to incremental budgeting, which just takes what happened last year. And of course, the more efficient an incremental budget is, you're still fundamentally having the base of last year, even though you can try and work on it to make sure you remove inefficiencies. But ultimately, zero-based budgeting is telling us to start from scratch and to sort of find better ways or prove fundamentally why we're doing this activity, if you like. So given the, so I'm sure you've read the story. These guys are pretty much trying to introduce zero-based budgeting into their program. So this issue here, what are the main steps involved in preparing a zero-based budget? Really, when you read through all of them, so let's start. Identify previous inefficiencies and avoid waste. So in a way, we're still accepting the budget of last year. In a way, we're almost accepting it. It feels almost incremental, and then just a better incremental budget. A rolling basis is still very similar. Rolling basis budget, fundamentally sort of saying, okay, listen, what we'll do is we'll do some variance analysis regularly, and then prepare another 12-month budget. So your best answer really is analyzing the cost of each activity. It's almost saying, why are you doing this thing? What are the consequences of doing this thing? And that way you have to prove why you want an activity to run, if you like, as opposed to just accepting that it's an activity and then we sort of start to sort of identify inefficiencies. No, why? And then looking for almost better ways to do it, and then building the budget from there. This is updating the budget continually. So again, this is almost like a better, just making sure we have good incremental sort of budgeting processes. So the answer here is C. Yes, so the answer here is C. Right, so let's carry on, and then let's move on to this one, number 2. Which two of the following are true? So for this business, if you remember, they're very busy right now, and I think they don't have, if you like, yes, so there is a lot of, the managers are stretched. It is time consuming, and you can see that it says, the key point here is that they seem very busy. So the fact now isn't a good time to introduce zero-based. You have to bring everyone on board to sort of do zero-based. It isn't straightforward. It is quite complicated because you have to justify everything. So the question is that 1 and 2 naturally just knock themselves out of the potential to be the answers. It is lengthy, it is costly, and definitely you're asking people to prove why they need that money. So again, the theory of budgeting proves that the best answers here are 3 and 4. So what is a decision package? Great question. Again, is what I was saying, this idea of method of budgeting, which requires each cost element to be specifically justified as though the activity to which the budget relates was being undertaken for the first time. That's your perfect answer. This really what zero-based budgeting is all about. Tell us why you want this budget. So the answer here is A. Which one of the following statements is true? If one of the activities is wasteful, ZBB will not be able to identify. Well, it would be if it's wasteful. With implementation, they become less motivated. No, that's not true, because it's the opposite. They would have a key role. ZBB would discourage a more questioning attitude. That's not true. It's the opposite, and overall, ZBB leads to a more efficient allocation of resource. That is very true. So the answer here is D. And which of the following describes difficulties in assessing performances in not-for-profit organization? Yes, I mean, this is an interesting picture here. Benefits are not always easy to quantify. That's true in not-for-profit organizations because they don't have profit as a motive. Value added becomes a thing. These organizations have multiple stakeholders, therefore, and yes, that's correct, these organizations often have unlimited funds. So this knocks itself out of the question straight away. They never have. You just think of the NHS and you're done. So 3 is out of the way. So the answer is, of course, the first and the second one, B. Great. So sometimes these questions are pretty short. Sometimes and that's the balance you see with. And so make sure you get it. Move through quickly the sections and don't get bogged down by the numerical ones. Make sure you're looking and scanning to make sure you're getting through these ones as well. Good, great stuff. So that is question 253. See you 254.